Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Magia Record Season 3, Episode 4, the finale. Finally, finally we're gonna be done with Magia Record. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, but at the same time I'm also really happy to be done with it. You know, a bit of a weight of my mind. I watched Madoka Magica and then Magia Record back to back, and I guess I'm just kind of sort of oversaturated with it a little bit, if you know what I mean. And it's also gonna give us a chance to hold a new poll, because this is gonna be a seasonal that's going away, and a new seasonal, sorry, non-seasonal, and a new non-seasonal needs to take its place. So be on the lookout for a poll. It's gonna be up on my Patreon. Voting, of course, $5 tier and up if it's something you would like to do. Regardless of that, wait, when am I gonna do the poll? Not next week, because I mean, I guess depending where you're watching this episode, because if you're watching this episode on Patreon, then the poll will start probably next week. And if you're watching it on YouTube, then chances are the poll will start today or tomorrow or something thereabouts. There's going to be a video on YouTube as well, so that you will know that it started and what are the options, etc. Regardless, that's it for the housekeeping. Let's talk a little bit about the previous episode first, of course. What exactly happened in the previous episode? Well, Nemu and Toka are slowly but surely catching up to Walpurgisnacht. Haven't caught up yet, but they are catching up to it, and their plans remain unchanged. Iroha had a chance to meet up with Ui. It's been said kinda sort of vaguely, but I believe Ui is done for. I think that was the intent. I'm not sure. I still think that she might still be saved. We don't know. We'll see. Or at least I don't know. Maybe you do, because you've seen the series, of course. So for all intents and purposes, this was probably the last time that Iroha was able to see Ui, and they were able to see their final goodbyes, although they didn't really, because Iroha still believes that she can save Ui somehow. Ui also gave Iroha a mission, right? I'm gonna free you, I'm gonna, release you from this prison, and you go and save your friend. That friend being Kuroe. So of course, Iroha makes an attempt at saving Kuroe, tries to do that very much so. Kuroe is already turning into a doppel slowly but surely, and we see a little bit of a glimpse into the past of Kuroe, when she was just a weak magical girl, and there was another one, perhaps even weaker, that she managed to save, and she managed to save a cat, and that magical girl asked Kuroe for a soul gem so that she can, save herself. And Kuroe said, no, I don't have any. I'm still not sure whether she did have it and just lied, or did she really not have it? That part is still not entirely clear. But of course, Kuroe has been living in with huge amounts of whatchamacallit. Not doubt, not grief. I mean, grief as well, but fuck. I forgot the word. I had it for a moment, but I didn't say it soon enough, and now it's gone. She's beating herself up over the fact that she didn't save her, and that's why her doppel takes the form of that magical girl. Right. I had the word again, and I lost it. Whatever, doesn't matter. Iroha, of course, wants to save Kuroe, tells her the whole, big speech, right? Sure, we are weak, but we can grow stronger. Live, Kuroe, I will help you. Together we can go and fight witches, right? It can be cool and fun and good, and we can both survive. To which Kuro is like, yeah, nah, I just wanna dip out. And she breaks through the barrier that makes doppos possible, and she gets turned into a witch. And Iroha, of course, has to end her existence. And you guys noticed something, or told me, maybe you noticed it, maybe you read it somewhere, I don't know, but you made a good point in the comments that Kuro is similar to Iroha in that both of them are weak, but where Iroha fights on and lives on despite her weakness, Kuro just kind of gave up. And she sees that, oh, Iroha is just as weak as I am, and she's trying to save me, and I didn't try to save that previous magical girl. So I'm not really worthy of existing, and so she just decides to cease to exist. Which is a shame. Because apparently she was Iroha's friend. She didn't have that much screen time for that friendship to like develop particularly strongly, but yeah, she, as far as the show tells us, they were friends. And Iroha also kind of sort of failed Ui in that, right? Because Ui told her, hey, go and save your friend, and Iroha couldn't manage. And now we have just one final episode left. And it really feels not enough for the big final battle and conclusion, whatever it might be. Right? Because I would expect that, oh, the fight with the Embryo Eve, for example, that would take like an episode and then some. And then the fallout of the whole thing would also take like half an episode or an episode. But apparently all of it is going to be condensed into just this single episode, right? We all arrive to meet Akihara, or close to meet Akihara. We meet the Walpurgisnacht and Embryo Eve, and we gotta stop Embryo Eve somehow, and we gotta stop Nemu and Toka. And what will become of them? That's also a very good question, right? Are they going to fight to the bitter death for their plans, or are they going to just give up, or are they going to be, I don't know, converted by Iroha and see the error of their ways and save Ui and live together happily ever after? I don't know. I said it in a previous episode, but it really seems like it's just all various shades of and I'm missing a word again. Fuck. Yeah, it's just shades of bad. Like, I can't see a purely good ending here. Bittersweet at best, right? Like, oh, okay, all of those people have died and we caused so much damage, and we've seen the error of our ways, and Toka, Nemu, Iroha, and Ui can be together again. But, you know, all that shit that happened amounted to nothing. Or they can dig deeper into it and eventually just even sacrifice their lives for their plan, and we're gonna end up much worse than we were without Nemu, without Toka, without Iroha, without Ui, just Iroha alone. With her newfound friends, sure, but without her old ones, and having completely failed her self-imposed quest to find Ui, to save Ui. And the damage would still have been done. So it's all just shades of dreadful. I don't know. We just gotta see what kind of shade it is. I'm gonna be honest. I'm going into this episode with a certain dose of just fear, right? I'm just afraid of what I'm gonna see. I really just almost don't want to watch it, to be honest with you. But at the same time, I do. I just kind of want to be done with it. But also, I just have to see where it goes, right? You gotta see how the story ends. Although, to be honest with you, if I were to just watch this on my spare time, this would be probably the moment where I just silent drop this show, in that I don't drop it, but I just never watch any further episodes. Not because it's bad or anything, but because I'm just afraid of watching further. But no, the show must go on. The series must get a completed tag on my list of playlists. So we just gotta see it. And yeah, let's just do it. I'm stalling. I'm stalling a lot. And I should probably stop. So you're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching the finale of Magia Record Season 3 in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh boy. Bleak. That was the word I was looking for. Just shades of bleak. Oh, we needed you here. Sure, I guess. Yep. That's a side quest. That's a lot of Kyuubeys. Oh, I thought she was just like machine gun shooting them. Because you're weak? Or that, sure. Earl Grey. Probably a lot, actually, yeah. How many of them have been doppelized and now they're just gonna get witchified? Although Mitama and Momoko undoppelized them, didn't they? But I guess the doppel is talking about magical girls from now on, right? That's a very hopeful music for how bleak the situation is. I hope that the power of the Nakama works. That's a nice song. That's a really nice track. Quintuple connect. And create an Uber witch. Yeah, hatred, loneliness, fear, anxiety. And Yachiyo never mentioned anything specific. Well, failure, okay. Yeah, sure. By your powers combined, I'm Captain Planet. Okay. Why not? Let's use this contraption to fly to the target. Yeah. I mean, it would really be hard to know anything about her with how little time we spent with her, wouldn't it? Yeah, sure. Oh, they're shooting Embryo Eve? I guess so. They turned against the Magius. Or they just see a witch and fire at the witch because we are in. No, we're not in Mitakihara yet. It's still Kamihama because it's under the shield of Alina, right? Ribbons! Again, not yellow this time, multicolored, but still. Ah, who are those twins? Oh, yeah, I was about to say the twin Kaedes, but it's Kaede and Rena. Does Rena have the. She does have the power of shapeshifting, right? Of course she does. I just forgot. Look at those cool designs. Look at those 2-star and 3-star characters. Those are mummy guns. Did they manage to clone them somehow? This track is a variation on an existing track, isn't it? Right? Why not? Yeah, I'm still wondering about that. uh, yes, and that doesn't change their plan. It's still the best course of action. Sure, that's a fair assessment. Right. This is the like trade-off that I mentioned in a previous episode or the one before it. Right? Is it better to spend more time together or more time apart or less time but together, right? Golden tears flowing upwards. Okay, so we're just gonna solve it with Tokunojutsu? That really doesn't seem on brand for this franchise. Something's gotta happen. Alina, hello. What you doing here? Right, she didn't get the memo. That makes sense. Oh! Okay. Sure. Okay, I mean, that's the plan as well. And what's that gonna achieve? Besides, like, genocide? No, I don't think she wants to save anyone. I don't think that's the goal. Right, it's all about the excitement and the show, isn't it? I mean, to be fair, the whole, like, witch imagery is very artistic, so it would be something that she's into. And if she can turn the whole world into an amalgamation of witch labyrinths, essentially, then yeah, she's gonna. Or she's gonna try at least. What's gonna happen to the we have inside of Embryo Eve, though? Do we have to resume the plan? What are you talking about? You're turning into doppels, or utilizing the doppel system at least? Oh, I see the gem getting dark. Yeah, they're sacrificing themselves. Well, shit. So we're going for bleak then. And a train. In space this time, not between Kamihama and Mitakihara. Well, certainly seems like you... Huh? Oh, gotcha. Oh? Explain then. Sure. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be possible. Or she can just be a spirit that haunts the villa. Okay, so they're all just gonna haunt the villa then. Or Yachiyo is going to have like permanent hallucinations, seeing them sitting around the living room at all times and nobody else sees them. Weren't you supposed to come live at Mikazuki Villa? And now it's a goodbye? And what does Iroha see? Ui. Okay. Ui Ui or a figment of Ui? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're Madoka. Or some other sort of a deity thing. Hmm. Okay, so search for me equals search for happiness, because every moment of happiness will be me. Interesting. So what exactly were those dream sequences? Well, shit, she just got obliterated. Oh, that's a big face. And that's Iroha? That's Iroha. Right. Instead of rejecting that side of hers and hiding it away, she embraces it because it's also part of herself. There's a moral there, isn't there? Right? Ribbons again. Pink this time, not yellow. A thread that connects all magical girls. Lend me your power kind of deal, or. Right, that was something that we had, but why do you have it? One flower for one dead friend? Okay, what is that? A rocket torpedo thing? It's something. Oh, that's a nice frame. That's a lot of nice frames, actually. And the loving embrace. I believe there was a similar imagery in the main series, wasn't there, at the end, as Madoka like physically appears and takes away the evil mojo from a dying magical girl, right? So something thereabouts. Oh, that's it. Huh. Oh, we still have some time. Maybe some after credits scene? Uh, I'm gonna be honest, it really could use a bit of a wrap up, right? Like a month of a time skip, everybody sitting around the table at Mikazuki Villa, this kind of thing, right? I know, we'll see. I'm not 100% sure what to think of this episode, to be honest with you. I'm gonna use the ED to collect my thoughts, I guess. That's some long ending. Do we get anything else? We do. Okay. Okay, that's good. Some unfamiliar faces, short hair. Ui is back in the photos. That's good. Black Magus insignia. Kaede and Ren, I guess, are helping Mitama. Yeah, Homura goes back. Mm-hmm. Is that Madoka and Homura? Well, I do. That's the Eternal Sakura. And a spot waiting for Iroha. Hmm. Okay. This final scene was very much needed. I'm gonna be honest with you, and it kind of changed my outlook on this episode a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's go through it again, though, and let's try to collect my thoughts a little bit more, I guess. I'll take the mouse away. Right. Aren't they supposed to be capable of saving people? Yeah, that's essentially you're saving people from magical girls who were turned into witches. So it's, you know, what do I even compare it to? You're solving the problem that you yourselves are creating. That's essentially what it is, kind of, sort of, right? Magical girls turn into witches, and then and then witches get killed by magical girls, and then magical girls get turned into witches, and so the cycle repeats. You're not saving humanity from some outside threat, unfortunately. How many magical girls do you think are going to become witches now? Yeah, all of them who were under the influence of the Doppel system. They no longer have the Doppel to fall back on, so now they will just get witchified. Power of the Nakama, yeah. Let's bring all of our hope and despair. It really seems to me like the moral of the story, or at least one of them, is that you are and should be whole, right? You shouldn't treat yourself, you shouldn't think of yourself as multiple different people. Your hope is you, and your despair is also you. All of those things are a part of yourself, right? And we see a very clear distinction in the show where those two things are separate. Magical Girl is the hope, and Doppel is the despair. And only after Iroha accepts it and takes on both parts of herself, merges with her Doppel essentially, only then does she get enough strength to save humanity or whatever, right? Humanity, because Alina was trying to destroy humanity, wasn't she? Yeah. Let's bring our hope and despair, and everybody mentions something that's specific to them. Felicia mentions hatred. Uh, yeah, she was quite hateful, I guess. I mean, she was mostly just a mercenary, for the lack of a better word, but sure, hatred. Loneliness absolutely fits Sana, no doubt about it. Fear, anxiety absolutely fits Tsuruno. Oh, and yeah, the past selves we could never forgive, right? Yachiyo has a problem with accepting the fact that all of her friends are dead, and she blames herself for it. Right. And Iroha has her failures, right? Like the failure to save Kuroe, for example. Yeah, makes sense. And by your powers combined, we get a flying something. No matter how many times I fail, the me inside everyone else will reach out a hand for me. And that's exactly what happens. This is a... Okay, it's just a combination of all of their weapons, it seems, right? Felicia's hammer is the propulsion. The board they're standing on is Sana's shield. Then we have Yachiyo's spear at the forefront, Iroha's bow, and I guess Tsuruno's fan. Yeah, okay, makes sense. They're my precious little sisters, and we gotta save them. Of course. I cannot allow them to take the burden onto themselves, right? I cannot allow them to be the villains of this story, because I know that they would regret it, that they would beat themselves over it. So I cannot allow them to do that as the responsible big sister. That's the thing, I think? I'm still not entirely sure. Like, I still have that feeling that the doppel system was the way to go. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, they still, all this time, they still haven't fully convinced me that the doppel system is an abomination that cannot be allowed to exist. Right? They still haven't convinced me. So I'm like trying to find some I don't know, some other ways to think about it, I guess. Will Momoko tell us we did a good job? No, we'll manage on our own. We'll be okay on our own, yeah. A lot of other magical girls. Yeah, those are mommy guns. And the uasa that shows here bears a resemblance to the holy mami. I guess that's the uasa that they merged mami with. Probably, yeah. An alchemist magical girl. And a claw magical girl. A double-ended katana? Okay, I guess. Some cool designs here, for sure. This is the best, quickest way to release magical girls from their fate. Yes, indeed. Still don't do it, though. Yeah, doing things this way isn't going to save anybody. Debatable. The people who'll die are all people you don't know. That's a solid point. You gotta give them that. Why would you worry about people you don't know, right? It's like whatever. They're perfectly dispensable. Something tells me though that if Iroha and the gang didn't stop the first iteration of the plan, nobody would have to die, because they had everything under control, didn't they? Everything was in a perfectly controlled environment. But because Iroha and the gang disturbed that plan, many magical girls were doppelized instantly. That's why Mifuyu and Momoko had to sacrifice themselves to undoppelize them. Because of that, they also lost Walpurgisnacht and had to chase after it, thus bringing a lot of distraction outside of the controlled zone, right? It really seems to me like Iroha just fucked it up. I'm gonna be honest with you. But yeah, you're my little sisters. I made you both into magical girls, and I cannot allow you to sacrifice yourselves for my sake. Kinda, sort of thing. Yes, that's right. And yeah, this is something that I said when we learned that Iroha became a magical girl for the sake of Ui, and she stopped visiting, right? Would you rather spend the little time you have left with the people you know, or would you rather spend much more time but lonely? completely cut off from them. And this is kind of the continuation of it, right? Would we rather spend the time we have left together in a nice family setting, or would we rather be apart and live a long time? You branded, you know, criminals, killers, and having that on your conscience. But in the end, that's the thing though. In the end, Nemo and Toka are fucking dead. So they didn't have any time to spend together. So the whole point is fucking moot. So it's not even a moral of the story. That it's better to spend less time but quality time than more time but apart. Is it? I don't know. I don't know. Don't disappear on me, don't leave me alone. Yeah. Even Ui is crying at this touching reunion. But yeah, she's making them remember the happiness that they had to suppress. They had to be hard. They had to be harsh. They had to only see the goal, only see the target. They had to change. They had to stop being who they are. And Iroha very much didn't want that for them. She wanted them to be who they are. The nice, kind, smart, happy girls that she knows. And then, out of nowhere, Alina fucking Gray. I'm gonna be honest with you, it feels like an ass pull. Like, I get why she's here. I get her motivation, right? I understand it, and it fits perfectly. I actually like how it's been done. So, yeah, thumbs up for that. But still, it really feels... Because it is. It is a last-moment villain, basically. A last-moment antagonist. You thought the problem is solved. You thought that you beat the villain, but haha! The butler who was accompanying the main character all the time pulls a gun and puts it to the main character's head. He was the mastermind all along, right? It really feels like this sort of an ass pull. We have still some time left, and it kind of feels like the previous resolution was kind of weak, because it was mostly just Toku no Jutsu, so let's pull out another villain. That's how it feels, and I just can't help feeling this way. It does make sense what she wants, right? She wants revenge. She wants the opposite. She wants to turn humanity into magical girls and give them the taste of what they didn't know either. It would make more sense, I guess, if she wanted to reveal the existence of magical girls first, at least. She just wants to turn the whole humanity into magical girls without grief seeds. They would just immediately turn into witches, which would basically flood the world, and I don't think the existing magical girls would be able to deal with this big deluge of witches. So ultimately every single human would die, either as a witch or as a magical girl. Sure, they would create some really nifty patterns. All those overlapping witch labyrinths, absolutely, I agree. It would probably be aesthetically interesting. I agree with you there, Alina, but can art exist if there's no one to appreciate it? I don't know. We're supposed to liberate magical girls? No. I'm going to show everybody that magical girls are real because it's gonna be exciting. That's it. Not gonna lie, kind of feels like a weak, fairly decently weak motivation for like last moment villain. Not gonna lie. I think it would have been better if they gave Alina this motivation for, like, if they hinted at it a little bit more. There were hints of Alina just being bored and looking for excitement. but not to this degree. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what to think of Alina being the final boss. Especially since her appearance causes Nemu and Toka to sacrifice themselves, which invalidates the whole thing of let's spend the little time we have together, but together. I don't know. Right? Like, we're back to, oh, we became magical girls to protect Big Sister Iroha, so we're going to sacrifice ourselves to protect Big Sister Iroha. So that whole speech of, no, I don't want you to sacrifice yourselves for my sake, I want to spend time with you, is just immediately moot. Immediately thrown away. Because they have to do it anyway. In a different way, sure, but still. And yeah, we're together until the end, together with Ui. And as they sacrifice themselves. Here we get a last minute reveal that, oh, Yachiyo, your power is actually to carry the hopes of your friends with you, not to survive at the cost of your friends. Okay, sure, feels kinda late for this reveal. And also the reveal changes nothing, because it's not like Yachiyo uses that power in any way, shape, or form, so... I mean... Maybe it empowers the attack that she does with Iroha. I guess. I'm not sure. And here we have something that, again, gets immediately invalidated. I want to live in a living room, right? Everybody wants to live in a living room. So it already makes me believe that, okay, so Yachiyo carries their hopes and dreams, so she also carries like fragments of them. So if she's living at the Mikazuki Villa, it will make it possible for all of them to also appear every now and then, perhaps at the Mikazuki Villa, and live on as ghosts or something to that effect. Okay, cool. That's a nice thing. That's, you know, a pinch of sweet in this soup of bitter that this episode has been so far, like, thematically, right? It's just bleak. And this would be like a nice bright point here, that they will live on somehow. But then we're like, oh yeah, we're at the last stop, actually. This is a goodbye. See ya. You'll never see us again. Why say that, oh, we're gonna live in the living room, and then say, oh, you're never gonna see us again? I don't know. But that's what we did. Ui is apparently made of lots of us. Sometimes as doppels, sometimes as magical girls. And she is the moments of happiness, right? Right, it really feels like Ui became the like abstract concept of moments of happiness. This I like. This I like, right? Whenever you're happy, I'm gonna be with you. So seek out happiness, seek out me, right? That's nice. That's really cool. I really like it. Bittersweet, for sure, but on the sweet side. And it has a nice ring to it, right? Be not just a generic, oh, be happy, I don't want you to be sad for me. No. The times we spent together were happy, right? So happiness will remind you of me, right? So when you're happy, I'll be with you. So go and seek out happiness. Whenever you find it, whenever you find a bit of happiness, I'm gonna be there with you. It would be as if you found myself. That's cool. That's cute. I like it. And it doesn't get immediately invalidated. That's also good. This is interesting. Just regrows as a half of Alina's head. And yeah, this is a nice moral, right? I know you, my dark side. I can wear you with you. I can suffer with you. I'm not gonna turn my eyes away, right? I embrace you as a part of myself. I am my happiness. I am my sorrow. I am my hope. I am my despair. And I'm not going to let you control me because you are me. And she comes to this realization, and right, this is nice. I really like it. I really like it as a moral. Embrace yourself as a whole. Don't try to split away a doppel away from your mind to chalk up all the harsh, hard, uncomfortable things at it. All those uncomfortable feelings. No. You are all your emotions, all of your feelings. You're your sadness and you're your happiness. You're everything. Cool. And then she connects to all of them through Ui's collection ability. Sure, okay. I know, I thought it's just Iroha's innate ability to connect with people that's manifesting. But apparently she gets a little bit of help from Ui. From Ui and from Kuroe, apparently, as well. And yeah, it really seems like she has a separate ribbon for every friend that died. Yeah. All those colors. And so Iroha has help from Kuroe and Ui. Yachiyo, with help from her friends, joins in. And together they create a big rocket. No matter how much regret or how sad I am, I'll keep living. Yeah. I won't be alone anymore. Oh, those people live in my head. Or, I guess, in my heart. That's a little bit more romantic, isn't it? And a big blast. But it doesn't destroy Alina. I like this little touch. It doesn't, like, vaporize her. No. At the last moment, Iroha embraces her. And it's this embrace that brings an end to her. That's cool. That's really nice imagery. That's a really nice moment. I like it. And just like that, the world has been saved. A lot of distraction, sure, but still. A very long ED. I think this is like the full version of the ED or something like that, because it's very long for being an ED. And we see some scenes from the Mikazuki Villa. Who do we have here? Felicia and Sana. A bunch of unnamed magical girls as well. Inside is Yachiyo. Short hair Yachiyo. She really looks nice in short hair, gotta say. Her friends' photos on the wall. A photo of a Magius emblem for some reason. Nobody knows that we wished. Yeah. Ui is back in the photos. I like it. Kamihama Magia Union activity plan. Oh, is is she like creating a support system for magical girls, kind of like what I mentioned at some point, right? That Magius could have just stopped at producing grief seeds, and that would be enough. That would already be a metric fuckton of health. Now, of course, they cannot just produce grief seeds, but perhaps the Magia Union is something like, oh, if you have some spare grief seeds, bring them to the less fortunate and we're gonna redistribute them, or, right? Something like that, maybe. Maybe some system to, you know, oh, there's a witch and I'm alone and I don't know if anybody else got the memo, so let me call up on my pager the like 3 strongest witches in Kamihama to help me fight that witch, right? Something like that. Cool. Nice replacement for the, well, not a replacement for the doppel system, but something that still helps magical girls. Nobody knows that we struggled, right? Nobody knows that we cried. What's that rabbit? Nobody knows how angry we were. Yeah, that is a lot of magical girls at her place. Supercell disappears above Mitakihara, right? Nobody knows that we failed to reach our destination. Homura turns back time because Mitakihara has been destroyed and the Madoka is probably dead. Alina Great Exhibition. Yeah, it's probably not gonna take place. Nobody knows about the art Alina created. What's this thing she holds? And wait, who is that? That's not Iroha, is it? That's not Iroha. It's not Ui either, I don't think. Who is that? I know, maybe some unnamed magical girl. Art, good luck. I guess she has a painting by Alina and she's sending it somewhere? Yeah, the room is empty. I was saved by a girl in a dress too. A shining girl saved my life. Right. So the news are kind of sort of spreading. You can't suppress information that easily. The Magus symbol ruined. I guess like a mass, not a mass grave, but a place where you can, pray for the magical girls who have passed collectively, no matter where they lie or whether their bodies even exist or not. Nobody knows. This is, I think, the only non-black Magus emblem still left. All the other emblems that we've seen so far were blackened. This one isn't. Must have been Nemus or Tokas, I guess. The room is back to normal. Empty, alas. Iroha is somewhere else and Ui just doesn't exist. Nobody knows that we gave everything we had to save another. Right. And yeah, we get an explanation for it. Is that Tsuruno carrying some soup to someone? I know, maybe. Will never be written down or spoken of. Great work, Iroha Tamaki. And this is Madoka and Homura, aren't they? Wait, this soul gem on the black hand. Is that Homura's soul gem? I'm not sure. Because the dress is unmistakably Madoka's. And since this is like a deity of some sort, then the devil to Madoka's god is of course Homura, so it would have to be Homura. Unless Kuroe? I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. No one knows, but I'll never forget the Magia Record. Yeah. And here we have Tokanemu and Ui waiting at the Eternal Sakura for Iroha to join them. Well, I would say that I certainly was correct about various shades of bleak this episode being. Yeah, it wasn't a happy ending. I don't think it was. But it wasn't quite as dark as it could have been, so guess that's like good and bad both. Okay, let's do the thing that we always do, and let's go through the theories right quick, and there should be plenty. Where does it start? That is Helk. Ancient Magus Bride. Oh, that's Symphogear already. So yeah, okay, Magia Record. Iroha is timeline hopping. No, she is not. Witches are good, or at least some of them. Nope. Ui learns of what was the prize, witches she didn't, wishes she never existed, which wipes out her Iroha's memories, but not Iroha's Megukaness. Well, Ui does learn of what was the prize, for sure, but the rest is false, of course. Juvenile Kyuubey is Ui. I already had that theory as early as season 1. It was actually like one of the first theories I noted down. Ui saw herself as a burden and disappeared herself. Nope. Not what happened at all. If I destroy the witches, sister won't have to fight. Yep. Exactly. Except it wasn't just Ui, it was Toka and Nemo as well. Kamihama is Ui's witch world? No. Ui isn't a witch. Iroha's witch is Ui, her doppel, I meant. No. Ui left to Mifuyu heart-shaped soul gem? No. Iroha has 2 soul gems? No, doesn't seem to be the case. Kamihama is purgatory? No. Finale, Ui reveal? It was revealed earlier than the finale, so I guess yellow. Close to it though. Magus change memories of Megukas to make them more inclined to join, or they are shown the future. No, they seemingly really just join of their free will. That sums up season 1 of Magia Record. And until this point, yeah, not many hits, is it? Toka strayed from the original Magus values, that's why Nem works behind her back. Kinda, sorta, but not really. I guess maybe yellow. Toka is exploiting Nemu. No, the opposite, if anything. Ui, Toka, and Nemu worked their wishes together. Yes, very much so. And continued. Continued where? Helk, Undead Girl Murder Farce, Frieren, Shangri-La Frontier, Shy, Shield Hero, Ancient Magus Bride, Sci-Fi and a Paladin, Magia Record, there we go. Iroha and the Hospital Girls were making up urban legends for fun. That's where rumors are from. Exactly what happened. Ui created the bubble around Kamihama. No, it was Alina. Mitama is somehow related to Kyuubey. No, she's just a special breed of a magical girl. Ui was opposed to Toka's plan, so Toka disappeared her. No. Not at all. Iroha is the key to undoing the Magus plan. I mean, by the virtue of being a protagonist. There isn't anything like super special about her. Kuro is half witch. No. Has another Meguka inside. Memories of one, so I guess yellow. Kuro merged her soul gem with someone else's. No. Nemu used her powers to extract Ui from reality and store her because Ui was dying. Pretty much exactly what happened, yeah. Embryo Eve is supposed to help bring Ui back somehow. It's not supposed to do that. Nemu was working behind Toka's back. Kinda, yeah, kinda sorta, yellow. That covers Season 2. And Season 3, the final one. Toka and Nemu not transforming and releasing energy was what did Ui in, since she kept absorbing it. I don't think it was ever mentioned, so I'm gonna leave it as is. Half of Ui is in Juve, half in Embryo Eve. Exactly what is the case. Kuroe is Deus Ex Machina. No. Jumps in at the last moment and saves the day. No. Sacrifices herself. No. Her death was pretty much entirely meaningless. Well, it gave some drive to Iroha, but that's basically it. And yeah, that sums up the third season. Not that much. Not that much, all things considered. Oh boy. Oh boy. So, as an episode, I feel like this episode had some really nice moments. It had some nice morals, it had some nice lessons and some nice themes, right? Like spending a little quality time together versus spending a lot of time, but one of us is a criminal and has guilty conscience, for example. Like the theme of carrying out the hopes and dreams of your friends. That's another big thing. Like the theme, this is what I like the most, the theme of being whole, right? Of accepting both the good and the bad, both the positive and the negative emotions and feelings, because all of them are yourself. Cool. I really, really did enjoy those aspects of this episode. Anything else pertaining to this episode, specifically as an episode, not as a finale yet? I don't think you can separate the two. I don't think you can talk about this episode by its own virtue without taking into account that it's a finale, honestly. I initially was of the mind that Iroha just using Toku Jutsu for to like save the day, essentially, to convince Nemu and Toka to stop what they're doing. I really thought it was maybe not weak, but kind of anticlimactic. But I also started thinking that it might be anticlimactic in a good way, right? That it shows that, oh, you don't need a big final stand, you don't need a big fight. Just open up your heart, talk about your feelings, talk about your emotions, and the other party will understand. If you love each other, if you're friends, then they will understand. Right? I thought for a moment that that's gonna be the moral. And it was, essentially. But then Alina appeared. Out of nowhere. From that moment on, it really felt like we could use on one hand, it felt like we could use one more episode. On the other, I don't feel like this episode was paced badly. So it feels like we could use one more episode, but I don't know what it could have been filled with. Because dragging this on and having Alina's disappearance be the cliffhanger, it wouldn't be the best, I don't think. So I think they did the right thing to do it all in just a single episode. But I cannot shake off the feeling that Alina's appearance should have been its own episode. I know, I'm not sure. I guess it simply felt too fast, too rapid, and too out of nowhere. When things already started winding down, right? Oh, the thing is solved. Not all is lost. At least Iroha has Toka and Nemu back. That's good. Boom. Alina appears, and no, you don't get Toka, you don't get Nemu, they have to sacrifice themselves. So that felt weird. Alina's disappearance really felt weird. Alina's appearance felt weird, but also right, but also made sense. Like, it was explained well, so I can't really hold a grudge, not fully. Not fully. What did feel rapid is Yachiyo having the revelation about her friends being with her, then Iroha having the revelation about Ui being happiness. As much as I like that moment, as much as I like that moral, that lesson, that message, it still felt like a lot of things were happening in quick succession. Then again, the main series of Madoka Magica and the movie also kind of did the same thing, right? When you feel like it's the end, but then you see, oh shit, we still have time, and then something happens out of nowhere, completely, turns everything 180 degrees, and then you get a rapid fire of events, and everything changes at the last moment, right? So I guess it's kind of par for the course when it comes to this franchise. We got some nice scenes. I really like the final scene of this one, of Iroha embracing Alina. This is really nice. I really like it. I really do. So we do get some nice moments in this episode, some really nice art. I love Iroha's ribbons, for example. Alina merged with Embryo Eve is delightfully creepy as well. Overall, good episode. I enjoyed it for what it is. I did. I did enjoy it as a finale as well. It worked. It brought a definite end to pretty much all of the threads that have been started during the course of this show. Sure, it works as a finale, it works as an episode in its own right as well. I'm trying to find something that I don't like about it. And I think I'm trying to do that, consciously or subconsciously, because I'm not a fan of how bleak it is, but not because it's a fault of this episode or it's the fault of this story. I'm just not particularly much into bleak, dark, bad, sad stories. I'm really not. So it doesn't strike the chord with me, right? I like when a story ends up hopeful or bittersweet, but on the side of sweet. I like it when the good wins in the end, right? I like this just campy stuff of power of the Nakama, the main character gets a boost, punches the bad guy in the face, and good wins, right? I like it. I can't help it. I much prefer it over drama, over sadness. So this doesn't strike a chord with my personal preferences. I guess what I'm trying to say here. It works. When you just look at the merit of it, it does. If you like stories like that, if you like to feel sad every now and then, if you like bleak stories like that, sure, it's gonna work for you. It has elements that work for me as well, because there are some really nice moments, right? The themes of hope, the themes of carrying on your friends' hopes, the themes of finding your loved ones in the moments of happiness. I really like that. I really, really do. It really struck a chord with me. But overall, I was hoping for a happier ending. Perhaps in vain. Because it's Madoka Magica we're talking about. There was never going to be just a purely good ending. Let's be honest here. There was never going to be one. I guess one more thing that doesn't sit 100% right with me is that The status quo of the world hasn't changed. Ultimately, the characters did. Absolutely. I guess let's talk about the series as a whole then, because I'm already encroaching on that territory. Right. Characters changed a lot. The characters grew a lot. They changed. Yachiyo came to terms with her past. She can now look towards the future. I guess that's also what cutting her hair signifies, right? She can now be more proactive instead of shutting herself off and shutting everybody else off. She now is proactive in creating this organization for magical girls. She grew a lot. Iroha, I'm not sure. She probably grew a little bit as well. Felicia, Sana, Mitama, all of those characters really grew a lot. So this is a story of their growth. They have changed a lot. The characters have changed a metric ton. What doesn't sit well with me is that the state of the world hasn't. Right? Like, we started in a spot where magical girls get turned into witches, and Nemu is missing, Toka is missing, Mifuyu is missing, Ui is missing. For all intents and purposes, they have died somewhere, right? And we go through the whole Magius thing, the Doppel system, we go through all of that. We find Nemu, we find Toka, we find Ui, we find Mifuyu. And then Mifuyu dies, Nemu dies, Toka dies, Ui dies, the Doppel system gets destroyed. We're back at square one. Nothing in particular changed for the better. The characters did, and the characters can now strive to make a change for the better, right? Like Yachiyo's organization. But ultimately, this whole arc tangibly achieved nothing. Besides, again, character growth. And I don't know how much of a fan of that I am. Right? Like, in the mainline series of Madoka, a lot has changed. The characters grew, yes, but the state of the world changed as well. Right? The overarching thing has changed. Everything has changed. It didn't end with Madoka just becoming a magical girl and getting the drive to fight witches alongside Homura. No, it had much higher, much bigger repercussions. I guess because it's a side story, they couldn't really change the state of the world, right? They couldn't really allow the Doppel system to exist because it would cheapen kinda sorta the rest of the franchise. It would cheapen the mainline series, because if a system like that can exist, then what the fuck is Madoka striving for? Not to mention, we know that Madoka exists across all timelines and all dimensions, so even in this dimension. So if they were to solve the problem of witches differently, then what's Madoka's purpose here? So they couldn't really change much when it comes to the state of the world. But I would have liked if they did. I really would have liked if they did. Alas. As I said, we do get a lot of character growth though, so I guess it was mostly a character-focused show, you could say. I think I enjoyed the early parts of the show a little bit more though, not gonna lie. I said early on that Magia Record feels like Madoka Light. Right? Like, we have the same world, we have the same mechanics, all of that is the same, but it's more light. We're going for fun adventures, looking for the Uwasa, we're solving some problems. Sure, there's some drama, someone's dying, someone's turning into a witch, okay, right, alright. But for the most part, it was just Iroha and friends being on an adventure looking for her sister. And that was fun. I really had fun then. Like, smiley kind of fun. But of course, it couldn't last. We had to enter the classic Madoka bleakness, and it had to, like, nosedive into just darkness. That is not to say that I didn't like the latter parts. Absolutely, I did. I did enjoy them. I did like trying to figure out what the fuck is the doppel system, how does everything work, right? I enjoyed that as well, but it was a different kind of enjoyment. I guess you could compare it to I enjoy Arifureta for just the absolute dumb, stupid fun that it is. And I enjoy Frieren for the beautiful series that it is. Those are different kinds of enjoyment, but both bring me joy. So I really feel like the early parts brought me different joy than the latter parts. Am I satisfied with this show as a whole? I am. I am. When I expressed my my desire to watch it, when I said that, oh, I watched Madoka Magica, so I'm going to watch the entire franchise, I heard many voices saying that, no, don't watch it, it's not worth your time, it's bad, it's like terrible, it's horrible, absolutely don't watch Magia Record. It's not bad. It absolutely isn't. Is it different than Madoka Magica? Yes. Absolutely. Is it as genre defining and as I know, season defining as Madoka Magica was? Probably not. But it also wasn't the first one in the franchise. Madoka was. Is it still a good show? Yes. If you watched it, if you watched this series without watching Madoka, would you have fun with it? Yes, you would. I honestly think that you would have fun with it. People who say that it's bad, I feel like they just elevated the original Madoka so high on a pedestal that anything that is within the same reach, that is within the same franchise and doesn't reach the heights, the impossible heights of Madoka, is automatically bad. But I don't think it is. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time spent with this show very much. Technicalities. Good art. The classic Shaft Madoka Magica style art that didn't turn any worse than the main series. Absolutely not. Gorgeous mixed media moments, as always. Amazing music, as always. Animation that really goes hard sometimes. Like, some of the fights, they didn't need to go this hard, but they did. And I just couldn't tell what's going on the screen. I just knew that I'm having fun. And, it's something. To bring this level of fights, this level of action, this level of animation into a show that could have just been a slow-moving drama with sliding PNGs for fighting, it's something. And I appreciate that something. I really do. Technically speaking, I would say it's just as masterful as the main series. I really enjoyed it. I have absolutely no qualms about it. I like the voice acting. They're doing a great job. Alina with her English words, that's also good. Music is amazing. Sound design at times really was also good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this show for all its faults that it might have had. Even with not fully understanding how Doppel is bad and thinking that maybe the Doppel system would have been better. Even with Alina's not Deus Ex Machina, the opposite of Deus Ex Machina, I know, Malus Ex Machina, I think you would call it, right? With Alina's Malus Ex Machina, even with all of those things that I complained about, it's still good. I still had fun. And this final episode was, I think, still a worthy episode with some really nice messages. Those messages, they were the thing that really resonated with me, right? Being whole, taking the good with the bad, right? Spending time with your family, quality time. all of that was really cool. I really enjoyed it. Anything else? Anything else? Let's see. The after credits scene. This one was the most important, I think, and really wrapped everything nicely. I was ready to claim that I didn't like this episode before the after credits scene, but because they showed us how things changed after all, right? All this time I've been talking about how nothing changed besides the characters, but things have changed. The place, the boarding house is much more lively. Kamihama Magia Union is a thing, right? So things have changed, and I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I really have just a mishmash in my head. On one hand, I wanna dislike this episode and this show. On the other, I wanna love it. And I think I'm more on the side of actually liking it. I do. Again, for all the faults, some of them were caused by this show being an adaptation, so they had to work within the confines of the world presented in a game. Of course, they were freed from it later on, but still, they had those confines to work in. All of that confined by the main series, right? They couldn't have changed much because it would cheapen the main series. Yeah, for all those things, they did something good. I enjoyed this show. That's how I'm gonna say it. That's how I'm gonna end it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I came into this episode thinking that, finally, it's just gonna be over. Let's get it over with. No, I'm glad I watched it. I was afraid of it. I didn't want to watch it. I was stalling. No reason to. I enjoyed it. Overall, I enjoyed it. I had some complaining, but it's like, fuck it, whatever. Overall, good. And I'm stalling the end again because I feel like I should say something more on the topic. But I don't think I have anything more to say. I think I said everything. If I remember anything more, I guess I'm gonna make a community post or leave a pinned comment or make another video or something. I don't know. We'll see. Right now, I think that's gonna be it, though, from me for today. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Leave me a comment down below. Did you like this episode? Did you not? What did you think of it? Of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? Tell me all about it in the comments below. Like this video if you did, subscribe to be notified of future videos, Freeren, Shangri-La Frontier, Majo to Yaju, plenty others coming in the future, including a new non-seasonal. Click the bell to be notified of when I go live, because I do sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below. On Patreon, for $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows, which is going to be whatever comes next. For $5, you can vote for whatever is gonna be next. And for just $1, you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. On YouTube, you can support me via membership, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And with that, out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: Kyuubey, Without a Network of Survivors, Zayrene, Dr. Watt, Akamancer, Marsh, UKLI, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want, and you don't have to sacrifice yourselves to stop Alina Gray.